leaving 1963 now, and you're traveling through time. Your next stop will be
Live from the 60s.
Cool TV presents a sneak peek at the high school basketball postseason with a spiced-up Sports Zone District Tournament preview. Tune in to Cool TV at 4 p.m. January 30th and February 1st and 3rd as Ben Spicer takes a look at the upcoming postseason in high school basketball. He'll break down the 16th region by looking at all 4 districts, the 61st, 62nd, 63rd, and 64th for both boys and girls. The Spiced Up Sports Zone District Tournament preview shows on Cool TV January 30th, February 1st, and February 3rd at 4 p.m. each day are brought to you by Clark's Pumpkin Shops of the Tri-State, A&A Porta Potties, River Cities Builders, Kentucky Farmers Bank, J.D. Floor Covering, Your Country Chevrolet, Papa John's of Flatwoods and Grayson, Borders Sporting Goods, and Primary Plus Healthcare.
The weather is brought to you by Crazy Lady Cabins and Pizza, 250 4 Mile Road in Rush. Check them out online at crazyladycabins.com. That's crazy with a K. And like them on Facebook.
Cool Hits weather.
Mostly cloudy early today, then partly cloudy later on this afternoon. A high of 56, partly cloudy this evening. It's going to be cloudy skies after midnight with some rain developing, low of 42. Cloudy on Sunday with rain ending in the afternoon and a high of 48.
Cool Hits 105.7.
Well, it's time for me to fade back into history.
Live from the 60s.
I'm the real Don Steele, and remember, the love you take is equal to the love you make. I'll be back next week, same time, same station, and most of all, same decade.
Live from the 60s.
This program was created and produced by M.G. Kelly. Executive producer, Sean Steele. Associate producer, Michael Schoenfeld. Co-producer, Krista Anderson. Live from the 60s with The Real Don Steele is an M.G. Kelly production. All rights reserved.
The Cool Hits 105.7 studios are sponsored by Southern Ohio Medical Center. Cancer can be very scary, and cancer care can be complicated, but the SOMC Cancer Center takes you from what appears to be a maze to amazing care. SOMC, very good things are happening here.
Cool Hits 105.7 WLGC FM. Green Up Ashland.
Portions of this program may have been pre-recorded.
Cool Hits 105.7 and the Cool Hits Sports Network now presents Let's Talk Sports. Get ready as we talk with players and coaches. Take a look at the top stories in sports and take a look at all the scores from the night before. It's Let's Talk Sports, brought to you by Kentucky Farmers Bank, Clark's Pumpkin Shops of the Tri-State, Stoltz Pharmacy, River Cities Builders, and Wagner Rental and Supply. Now, let's talk sports with your host, James Collier.
And welcome into Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hits Sports Network. James Collier, happy to have you along with us this morning. All the scores from games last night here in the local area, scrolling across the bottom of your screen over there on Cool TV. We're going to talk with a couple of different teams this morning. We'll start first with the Boyd County Lions. The girls basketball is in. We've got Jasmine Jordan, Emily Neese, and Coach Pete Fraley. Tough loss for them last night, but they got to bounce back today. They've got a big district game tonight against Ashland, and we get ready for this last push toward the regular season. We'll see where Coach Fraley feels like his team is and where they can still go moving forward. We'll flip sides of the basketball over to the boys' side with Greenup County. Coach Allison and 3 players in studio this morning. We'll talk about his season. They've been playing some really good basketball as of late. They've got a big game tonight against Morgan County. We'll preview that one as well. We'll head down to Richmond, Kentucky. Jim Forrest will preview the All-A State Tournament. Girls semifinals currently underway this morning. We'll talk about all the teams that's in the semifinals and then preview the championship rounds for tomorrow. And, of course, coming up later on in the show, it's the Border Sporting Goods Rant of the Week. Multitasking in food service. God help us. It just is like an anomaly, without a doubt. Let's take our first break. When we come back, we've got the Boyd County Lady Lions in studio. We'll talk with them as we continue here on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hits Sports Network.
In addition to the Greenup location, Stultz Pharmacy's newest location is at 437 James Hanna Drive in South Shore, but has retained the name you know and love, McDonald Pharmacy, with the same great service you'll find in the Greenup location, with free delivery service and their convenient drive-thru. Get your vaccinations and allergy shots, and of course, great prescription service at Stultz Pharmacy in Greenup and McDonald Pharmacy, James Hanna Drive, South Shore.
Stultz Pharmacy.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
I'm April Perry, the CEO of Kentucky Farmers Bank. On average, our employees have been with Kentucky Farmers Bank for over 10 years, and that is important to you and us. We want you to know who you are dealing with. Whether you are financing a new home, buying a car, or remodeling your kitchen, Kentucky Farmers Bank is the better bank for all your needs.
Kentucky Farmers Bank, the better bank for all your financial needs since 1931. Located in Ashland, Summit, and Catlettsburg. KentuckyFarmersBank.com. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. The new year is here, and Clark's Pumpkin Shops get it started off with great in-store specials for you. Assorted Hershey king-size candy bars, 2 for $5. Jack Link's beef and cheese meat snacks, 2 for $3. Blue Diamond almonds, 1.5 ounce size, 2 for $2. Snapple and Snapple Elements, 16-ounce bottles, 2 for $2. Plus quality Argo gasoline. Stop by a Clark's Pumpkin Shop near you. Clark's Pumpkin Shops return. Refresh, refuel.
The greatest songs of all time. You've got Cool Kids 105.7.
Back on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hits Sports Network. James Collier in studio. Let's join with our guests now from Boyd County Ladies Basketball. Coach Pete Fraley, Jasmine Jordan, and Emily Lease is in with us. Coach, ladies, good morning.
Good morning, James.
Coach, a tough loss last night against a very good Ryle team. But, again, when you get to this time of the season and you see where you are, these are the type of games that you like to see yourself play. It gives you that kind of that postseason feel, if you will.
It does, James. And then with a quick turnaround tonight with Ashland, it gives you a little Friday, Saturday region tournament feel for it. And, we set up our schedule that way. I know next week we're going to take off and head down to Bethlehem and play them. They're a really good team. I think they're playing today in the semifinals of the All-A. So we want to challenge our kids. They know. I mean, I tell them all the time, I'm going to put you in some adverse situations, and how we respond is going to determine our fate. Last night, we just dug a little hole too deep. With Ryle, they have some nice players. The Holtman kid shoots it really well. I think, they told me after the game they're like 4th in the state in three-point shooting, and after watching her shoot, I see why. But it was a good game for us to play. They're all still scrimmages, so we're fine.
You talk about you got yourself in a hole. You fall behind 9-0 out of the gate. I know we talked before we started this morning, said you spend a lot of energy in that spot of trying to catch up, and especially with a team that shoots it so well. 9 points is a big deficit.
It was, and we came back and got the lead, but at the end, I think we were just a hair behind them, and I think that's where we spent so much energy early. And it was an emotional night with Audrey coming back. There was a lot of emotions flowing there, and you just threw everything together, and still at the end of the night, I felt like we got better, and it was a good game for us to play.
Having the game against Pikeville, you guys got completely blitzed in that one, and you bounced back with this one against a tough Ryle team. What do you like about what you saw from your team after taking a tough loss like that?
Well, we knew going into Pikeville there was a situation that had happened there with the student, and they were sky high. I mean, it was a packed house, and they let you play a little bit in the 15th, and we just weren't really prepared for that. And like I said, we knew it was going to be a tough game, and to bounce back the way we did against a team like Ryle, I like my team. They're resilient. They'll be fine. At the end, everybody wants to look at all these pretty records, and it don't matter. We just want to be playing our best basketball come mid-February.
What were some things that you took away from your team last night that you were really happy with what you saw with it, and some things that you still can take back into film sessions and say, here's why this happened and here's how we fix this moving forward?
Well, we've got to execute a little better. We've got to get everybody on the same page. And like I said, last night we had Audrey coming back, and it kind of, you throw a player in like that, it puts people in different situations. And we just have to learn. And, we've got 2 more weeks, almost 3, to do that. And I still love the way our kids responded last night. It was a great atmosphere. I mean, we haven't had very many home games. And for a Friday night against an out-of-state or out-of-region opponent, we had a really nice crowd. And I just there was energy. And our team never wavered. They fought tooth and nail all night.
You talk about the return of Audrey, and it's been a remarkable recovery, to say the least, for somebody to go through an ACL surgery and now back on the court, 4 months, 5 months later?
It's not even 6.
Yeah.
Nervous. I was probably more nervous than anybody because, when it happened, I said, "Sis, I'll see you in October of next year. Don't worry." But she was like, "Coach, I'm coming back," and she has worked very hard, and for our kids to just see that, and see how bad she wants to be with them. That speaks volumes.
Jasmine, last night, 9-0 deficit that you guys had to claw out of, but again, you keep it very, very close throughout the ball game. What was the biggest challenge for you guys, especially falling behind 9-0, to get yourself back into that contest?
I think it was more mental for us because we like to break down easily and point fingers. But last night we just kept going. I just had to keep them going.
Emily, for you, you've had a really kind of an expanded role on the team this year. For you, what was the slow start, and what was the kind of the fix that got you guys back in that basketball game?
I would say our defense is the main thing. After we got in that hole, we bounced ourselves up. We kept getting steals, deflections, no matter what.
And I know that the way you guys like to play defense, a lot of that plays off of made baskets. Having that ball not go through the net and falling behind 9-0, how much did that really take you out of what you guys wanted to do?
A lot. Especially with me, I get into my head a lot, and I know everybody else does, so it really put us back a lot.
Coach, when you like to press, it's no secret. Not being able to get the ball go through the net, and it takes you out of what you want to. Is that when you start seeing your girls kind of scramble a little bit?
A little bit, James, but last night it was a little different. They just kept battling. Em got a lot of hands on balls. Em, Bella, and Tay, they were all over the place last night. And like she said, a lot of deflections, and we turned those into points. And then once that first bucket went in, we were able to get into our press a little bit. And, I do like to press, but sometimes, we have to back off a little bit. But I was just really happy with the effort that we put forth there. And like I said, our 3 guards last night, they had hands on balls all over the place. And, you asked Jazz about the biggest hurdle she had last night. It was probably Sarah Baker. Mm-hmm. She's a load inside, probably a little taller than Jazz, a little stronger. And every time Jazz caught the ball inside, she had a body on her. And I was proud of the way Jazz responded. And, we need her to play like that every night. And she knows that. And it's coming.
Jasmine, for you, last year I think maybe you were able to slide under the radar a little bit, some of the stuff that you were pulling. There was no sliding under. Everybody knew who exactly you were this year. Coming into games, have you noticed the attention that you draw from teams, getting double teamed from that help side defense? How much have you had to kind of learn how to refine your game to be able to play under those type of conditions and understand maybe the best option for me is that kick out and get it back on another time?
Well, one thing, I keep my cool. That's one thing. But I knew as soon as they double team me, I have Em in the corner to shoot, or I have Kins. There's just other options, or I have Tay cutting. I just know I have different options. I don't always have to try to go through 2 or 3 people.
For you, when you see that kick option and those shots start falling, is that when you know, okay, now I've got to get ready, because if they keep sagging off me, it's those open looks are going to be there, so they've got to close out now. That's going to put me one-on-one.
Yeah, which it's like better when I have one person, so it's easy.
Emily, for you this year, kind of running the point guard position and having those opportunities, working as a 2 guard, a 3 guard, so many positions that you guys can intertwine. But you've had a kind of a coming out this season for you. Have you noticed more defensive pressure, especially over the last month or so?
Oh, yeah. Face guarding a lot is probably the main thing. Now that they're face guarding me, the inside's wide open, I think. So as long as I can get it in there and get my other teammates open, we're good.
How much different has it been for that situation when you talk about face guarding, especially as a guard? I mean, sometimes you are 35 feet away from the basket and you still have somebody chasing you around. Is it one of those things that can get in your head very quickly?
Yes. I've tried better not to do that recently because once they get in my head, I'm out of the game, I think. So,
Coach, when you see a team start face guarding one of your players, what goes through your head as a coach of the alignments that you've got to make certain that you've got, how you make the adjustments on the floor with the offensive set you want to go through?
Well, number one, it's a compliment when people face guard you because they don't want you to get an open look. But two, we've worked on some things. We kind of got hit without – we hadn't worked on it a lot. And now we know it's coming. So we've worked on some things in practice, and we've talked about, hey, we can kick it and then cut off of it, and it just creates opportunities for other people. Now I kind of look forward to it. Send us something because then we'll see what we worked on if we can execute it.
How many junk defenses have you guys played against this year?
Several, and it's tough because they're not guarding me. Well, okay. You got to do something about it, and teams, that's a credit to other teams and to our team, when they come up with something like that. But we look forward to it. We look forward to all the challenges.
Jasmine, for you guys, having teams that they're not just going to go at you man to man or a simple 2-3, they're going to switch things up, and it could be 2 possessions and then they're another defense, and then they switch it up. How much have you guys in practice learned how to identify these types of things and understand that you have to be able to adapt to this on the fly on the court without coach having to call a timeout?
A lot, but Taylor does a good job of calling out what they're in and what we need to run. So it's not that big of a deal because Taylor has us all set up. So it hasn't been that big of a deal because we have a good point guard.
Emily, for you, having someone like Taylor to where you guys can share the load on that guard duties, but having her up top of being able to get you guys where you need to be, how much has that helped you along the way?
I think she creates a lot of our energy, and she makes us better. Once she gets the ball in her hands, you can cut anything, and she'll pass it right to you every time.
Coach, she's a kid that she would be okay with a double-double on as long as the assist was part of it. She's just a very high energy. We've talked about it. She's a spark plug.
She is, and you covered her in volleyball, and now it's basketball, and she's just that energizer that brings energy to our team, and it rubs off. You see Bella out there now. She's got that energy. Sophie has done a great job for us too this year, stepping in and playing more minutes. So I think everybody just feeds off Tay. She loves to win. She's probably one of the most athletic kids I've coached, and she's by far the best on-ball defender I've had. I would hate for her to guard me. I really would. And none of our guards, when we split up and we scrimmage a little bit, nobody wants to see Taylor on them. I mean, it's, you can ask him. He's just like, oh, Lord, here we go. And she just creates so much havoc, and she's so quick and strong. She's deceptively strong. I mean, she's not the biggest kid in the world, but she's pretty stout.
Playing with the brothers that she has, she probably didn't have much of a choice.
That's true. I look at them, and I tell her all the time, she might be the toughest of the 4. Yeah. I mean, and the other 3 played college football. So, but with Dad sitting there, and he's just, I mean, it's a really neat. It's neat to sit down and talk to Mike Bartram. Just, we can talk about basketball, but I love his football stories, and his time at Marshall, and then the Patriots and the Chiefs and Eagles. I mean, it's just neat to be able to talk to somebody who's had those experiences.
I think one of my favorite Taylor stories, this was last year at the regional tournament. A ball was going out of bounds on our side of press row, and I look up and I see Taylor coming, and I'm like, this is going to hurt. And she slams into the tables, shoves it, tries to get the ball, and then before she gets up, sorry, James, and then back into the ball. She's and smiling the whole time, by the way.
Well,
that's the motor that she has.
Well, and you go back to volleyball at Paintsville, she goes diving into the bleachers and gashes her head, and I looked at her when she got back to school because I wasn't there that night, and I said, sometimes you just got to let them go. And she's like, Coach, I said,
I don't know how to
you,
do that.
You can't do that.
No.
But her energy, it just rubs off. And, we're not where we need to be yet. And, with Audrey coming back, we've got 2 weeks to kind of mesh everything together. And but I like the direction we're going right now. We're trending in the right way.
Emily, Coach talked about it. He said nobody wants Taylor on them during practice. But when you have to go against Taylor in practice, do you know, okay, this is probably the best on-ball defender I'm going to see the entire year, and it prepares you for what you're going to see each night?
She gets me better every single day, and it prepares me for other teams who are going to face guard me or anything, really.
Jasmine, for you guys, with the return of Audrey, that gives you an addition to that post. But much like you, she can step out and hit that mid-range jump shot. How much more versatile does that work your guys to be able to go inside out rather than outside in?
Well, it helps me because if they double team me, she's open. But if they double team her, I'm open. So it just helps us space the floor out, really.
Coach, bringing somebody like Audrey back in, I mean, this is a double-digit, a double-double possibility each and every night that you've got back into the rotation. Where do you see your team being able to, like you said, that mesh thing that has to happen now? You've got 2 weeks to put it together.
We do, and it's not like she hasn't been around. She's practiced with us. She just wasn't able to do contact drills until this Monday. So she's been there, and the times that she's missed, she had to go to therapy and do some things like that. But Audrey's she's one of those kids that loves to play, and she'll do whatever. And she's another one, she'll be happy if she can get 10 assists, 10 rebounds a game. It's all good. And I thought last night the first positive that she had, a little pick and roll with Jazz, and she hits Jazz rolling to the basket for a bucket. And I don't know who was happier, if it was Audrey or Jazz, because she was so happy that she made the pass and that Jazz finished it. And then she hit a 3 late that kind of energized us there. But it's just I'm glad to have her back. Anytime you can add a player of that magnitude, it's got to help your team.
Let's talk about tonight, a big district matchup with Ashland. You get it on your home floor again. But, again, the Kittens, they're playing some really good basketball this year. Stacey Davis doing a phenomenal job with them. And it all starts with Kinley Woods up top.
It does. And, Kinley kind of gets pushed into the background because you're looking at Haven Ford, who might be the best senior point guard in the state. And then you got Shaylin at Russell, who's another dynamic point guard. And then you got Kinley, and she does a really good job, and Stacy does a great job with those kids. But it's not just the Kinley show. I mean, you got Ella Sellers and Jaden Gully and the other kids there. They're playing really well, and it's kind of funny because last night we saw a 2-2-1 full court. Tonight we're probably going to see a little 1-2-1-1 or a full man. And then we're going to Russell on Monday. Whoever made the schedule needs to be fired, by the way.
I don't know who that would have been.
The AD probably. But then they're going to hit us with a half-court trap. And so we're going to see 3 different types of presses. And, it's good. It's good for our team, and they're not elimination games. Like I said, we're still just practicing and getting ready. But tonight against Ashland, I mean, that's always a big game. That's usually my favorite game of the year. I love playing them. Win, lose, draw. It'd be a little different without Bill being over there, but I'm familiar with Stacy, and she's done a great job.
I was going to say, how does that make you feel? Now you're kind of the capitone, if you will, in the 16th region on the girls' side of things with Bill gone.
I know. We've been there, and I think we still talk. And I asked him the other day. I said, I don't have numbers. Jay, I'm not a numbers guy, but I said, how many times did we play? And he said, it was over 70. And he said, I think you got me by 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know that there's any other teams in the state that can say that, they had the same 2 coaches for 70 games. And it means, he is old, and I'm catching him.
Well, Coach, we greatly appreciate the time this morning. Best of luck throughout the rest of the season. We'll see you certainly in the postseason.
Thank you, James. Thanks for having us.
Jasmine, Emily, thank you all so much. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's take a break. When we return, we've got Greenup County boys basketball in studio. We'll talk with them next as we continue here on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hit Sports Network.
In addition to the Greenup location, Stultz Pharmacy's newest location is at 437 James Hanna Drive in South Shore, but has retained the name you know and love, McDonald Pharmacy, with the same great service you'll find in the Greenup location, with free delivery service and their convenient drive-thru. Get your vaccinations and allergy shots, and of course, great prescription service at Stultz Pharmacy in Greenup and McDonald Pharmacy, James Hanna Drive, South Shore.
Stultz Pharmacy.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Hello, I'm Michael Bowling, Senior Vice President of Kentucky Farmers Bank. When you do business with Kentucky Farmers Bank, you're making an investment in your community. Your money stays local, we never sell your loan, and in turn, we invest in local families, churches, schools, and charities. We believe in our community, and that's why we are the better bank for loans.
Kentucky Farmers Bank, the better bank for loans since 1931. Located in Ashland, Summit, and Catlettsburg. KentuckyFarmersBank.com, member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
The new year is here, and Clark's Pumpkin Shops get it started off with great in-store specials for you. Assorted Hershey king-size candy bars, 2 for $5. Jack Link's beef and cheese meat snacks, 2 for $3. Blue Diamond almonds, 1.5 ounce size, 2 for $2. Snapple and Snapple Elements, 16-ounce bottles, 2 for $2. Plus quality Argo gasoline. Stop by a Clark's Pumpkin Shop near you. Clark's Pumpkin Shops return. Refresh, refuel.
The weather is brought to you by Crazy Lady Cabins and Pizza, 250 4 Mile Road in Rush. Check them out online at crazyladycabins.com. That's crazy with a K. And like them on Facebook.
Cool Hits weather.
Mostly cloudy early today, then partly cloudy later on this afternoon. A high of 56, partly cloudy this evening. It's going to be cloudy skies after midnight with some rain developing, low of 42. Cloudy on Sunday with rain ending in the afternoon and a high of 48.
Cool Hits 105.7.
Back on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hit Sports Network. James Collier in studios. Happy to have along Boyd County Lady Lions this morning. Pete Fraley, Jasmine Jordan, and Emily Neese. Coach Fraley, he's always been one of these things. He said he plays 30 scrimmage games every year. That's the regular season. And everything they do, they try to prepare themselves for the postseason. And as the defending champs, they're probably going to be one of the teams there that's giving a run at going back to Rupp Arena once again. But always appreciate Coach and his time for what they do and the coverage that we've been able to provide for Boyd County basketball. Well, in studio now, we've got Greenup County basketball. On the boys' side of things, Coach Corey Allison. Coach, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well. Coach, let's talk about your season so far. A slow start, and for you, first year, trying to get things squared away, figure out what you had, what you didn't have, and getting that learning curve. But here of late, you guys have been playing some really solid basketball.
Yeah, the guys have been coming together, and just kind of buying into, and like I told them at the beginning, it's going to be a lot of intervention. A lot of it's mental, especially adjusting to the new coaching style and at the same time being the main characters on the stage that they're not used to. But they've been coming together, and the good thing about this group is, they have a short memory, and they forgive each other quick, and they come back the next day and ready to work hard.
What was the one thing you came in with this group that you wanted to try to do something quick with, but at the same time building a long-term goal? You knew this is what has to be the foundation to get us to that point.
Believing first. First believing and kind of cleaning the slate of what they've been through in the past. No disrespect to any of the coaches before, but they knew it was going to be something different, and the adjustment, of believing in themselves, and at the same time, trying to build that culture of winning and knowing you're going into games and you're going to win the game, or you're going to do your best to compete.
You look at the last time you guys got on the floor, Fairview at home, overtime. This one gets over 80 points on both sides. If you take this game and you put it back in early December, do you feel like it's a game that you guys win?
I do. And actually, and Fairview is a good team, well coached, and they're building their culture back up too as well. But we were short wiremen. We were short. A couple guys were sick, and and now I had that circled on my calendar. I'm telling you, all summer long it was like, guys, this first one, But I think that we probably will be, like I said before, we've lost a lot of close games. We were right there, and it's just that little bit of experience. And yes, a few of those games that we can get back again, I'm quite sure these guys would be up for the challenge.
Getting a win in Vanceburg last week, a big district win, a game you guys trailed by 19 in the first half, and you found a way to claw yourself back, and your first lead of the ball game comes on a dunk from this young man, and you could really feel the energy of the gymnasium flip sides whenever that ball went through.
Yeah. And like I told them, going in, I'm like, this is the environment that you dream about. This is what you should want. And then I told them, I said, only good things can happen at halftime. I told them, just keep believing in yourselves, and this could be a statement game, And I get on these guys all the time. Just believe. Just keep chucking at the bit. You know what I mean? Like, just don't be surprised at your success. And I told him, I said, we probably should have never been down 19, but that was the mental aspect of it. We got kind of rattled a little bit, got a technical at the beginning of the game, and the guys were kind of like, kind of down a little bit, and they start hitting shots. So, but, we survived it through, and them boys stuck together, and that's the best I can ask for.
Carson, back in that ball game, a little bit of a slow start for you guys. You cut it to 12 going into the locker room. What was the message from Coach there at halftime that got you guys kind of started back toward having a chance to get yourself back in that ball game?
Well, he told us that we should come out with the same energy, and that this is the best they've played all year, and they're just gonna lay back down. And I mean, we came out, got a few on the board, got the momentum back, and it just kind of went from there.
Having the start that you guys had in the second half, was that really big for being able to get yourself back in that basketball game?
Oh yeah, we were, like you said, we were down 31-12 at one point, and it was just everything was going bad. They were 8 for 8 on threes. We couldn't play a lick of defense, and we came out, we played defense, scored, and just kind of kept going our way.
Going in that second half there, when you guys got stops that led to baskets in transition, was that when you guys kind of started feeling like the momentum was coming back your direction?
Oh yeah, every bit of momentum shifting back our way is just gonna help keep scoring, and getting those stops really means a lot because, like Carson said, they were hitting every single shot. It was the best they shot all year, so we just knew that at some point the law of averages were just gonna go our way.
The ability to really get into them defensively out of made baskets, that was something you guys struggled with, is getting the ball to go through the net. Do you feel like that really kind of limited the way you guys had to play defense because you couldn't get that pressure in the backcourt like you were able to get in the second half?
Oh yeah, we have good guards, but they had Trey Gerke, and we just couldn't stop him in that first half. Second half we started to get to him. I think that's where we really gained that momentum.
Eli, for you, when you got that steal out at midcourt and there's nobody in front of you, take me back through that play.
Well, as soon as I got it, I knew I was going to dunk it no matter what.
Was that your first in-game dunk?
No.
Okay. So first time you've ever had 2 dunks in the same game?
Yeah.
When you got that dunk down, though, to get you guys the lead for the first time in the ball game, how much energy did you feel like that brought to your team?
A lot. As soon as that happened, I just knew we weren't going to lose.
Coach, you hear about energy plays in basketball games, and especially on the boys' side, the men's side, there is no more energy play than you get than a dunk, especially off of a turnover like that. How big is that?
It's huge. It's deflating for the other team. It can be, and I'm not for sure if it was or not for them, but I know it uplifted us. And I'm big on getting on these guys about shooting ourselves in the foot, so to speak. Momentum killer plays. And that was the opportunity for us right there to get an energy play, and they actually got a chance to see it. Because we've had many times where we had momentum-killing plays. And I told them, I said, now this is the difference between momentum-killing and energy-bringing. And they stepped it up, got some steals, and it just generated energy and more energy and more energy.
Carson, you've played in this building before in Vanceburg. It's the district tournament host site this year. Having that experience for you of knowing how tough it is to play in that building, how much was that kind of part of your role as a senior, being one of those leaders that you have to go out there and make the younger guys understand this is the environment we're going to have to grind through all night long?
I mean, it was good. I mean, that was our first win since 2015 there, as I recall. And getting to win there was a big statement, and I feel like we can just keep that on our shoulders and we can just keep rolling, showing that we can beat that team in their place.
Cohen, how big is that, getting a win in Vanceburg? And, again, knowing that's where you're going to go back and play for a chance to get back to LST.
That's huge. I think our district is the toughest in the region because we're all so well-rounded. And getting a win, like you said, at Vanceburg since 2015, that doesn't happen around here. And beating them there, I think, really will boost us up confidence-wise, and this is why we've been on that win streak.
Coach, you look at your remaining schedule. You still got 4 district games ahead of yourself, with Russell sitting at 4-2 right now. You need a little bit of mojo to get at that 1 seed, but it's not completely out of reach. You got to win out and need a little bit of help. But having that option there of the 1 seed is still in grabs, but the 2 seed is certainly within reach, that's certainly something to play for.
Yes, it is, and it's huge. And it's my first time on this side of the water, so the tournament time thing is different for us. We do sectionals over in Ohio. So over here, I just got a grasp of it, and these guys didn't know how big of a deal it was. And Carson made it a point before that game, before the Lewis County game, like, this is a big deal. This is a district game. And I feel like, and I just kept telling the guys, like, just be confident. Be confident, and now don't be surprised by your success. And I know that other teams struggle with trying to game plan with us because, like I've told them 15 games in, I said, I still haven't seen the team that I know that you guys could be. So I know it's hectic for other teams to game plan for us. We've been like a little, Jekyll and Hyde. I said, so it's kind of like the gift and the curse. So I said, we're going to use the gift, with being that team that, teams are really kind of underestimating or just not really mentally knowing how to take the approach towards us. This is a very dangerous team. We're well balanced. The record doesn't show, their scoring averages doesn't show, but once these guys get to going, it's going to be something beautiful.
Eli, 5-game winning streak for you guys, and the way that you guys have won some of those ball games, an overtime win over Fairview, a 2-point win over Menifee on the road, 5-point win in Vanceburg. It's those close games. How much does those type of contests kind of round you up for what you're going to see when you get into district tournament time?
Just got to be prepared to play tough games like that. Play 4 quarters straight, not give up, and just keep pushing throughout the whole game.
Carson, being on the good side of those close losses or close wins at this time, you know what it feels like to be on the other side of that. For this year, what's been the biggest thing that you've noticed the difference between being able to finish those close contests and not coming up on the losing end?
Well, I can say that this year we have a lot of fight in us. We don't give up like the past few years. I mean, we laid down a lot the past few years, but this year it seems like something special. I mean, Coach pushes us. He tells us every time we shoot, it's money. Tells us knock down on free throws, finish our layups, and I feel like he has a lot of confidence in us, and it just boosts our confidence as a team.
Coach, a tough one tonight, a good road test against a very good Morgan County team, and West Liberty is a tough place to play, much like Vanceburg. It's its own anomaly. They really get after you. The crowd gets into it. They've got a good student section. A good atmosphere, again, to simulate what you're going to see in the postseason.
Yeah, and like I tell them before every game, it's a beautiful, blessed day. It's an opportunity for you to make a statement. It's an opportunity to actually put a stamp on where we want to go as a program. And I think it's wonderful. Like I said, to go up against Morgan, they're a great team. They seem to be well coached. They have players who can pretty much score it at any time, all of them scoring double figures. But I told them, I said, they are what I see us being. You know, it's the same exact thing when I scout their film, stressing defense, and then just imposing the will. And we're up for the challenge because I think that will be two teams that are kind of the same, but we just haven't had that success to show for it. But my guys, we're up for the challenge.
You look at the rest of your schedule going out. You got a nice home game schedule coming up. Raceland on the 30th, Rowan County the 31st, Lewis and West Carter. 3 games on the road with Russell, Raceland, and Elliott. That Raceland game will close things out in district play, and then you finish out with Montgomery County at home. What do you like about how your schedule sets up there? More importantly, for those remaining games in there for district tournament play.
With more than half of them, we know what to expect. Now versus before, we were kind of blinded, not knowing what we're going into. And at the same time, as a coach and staff, Coach Gammon and Coach Childers, like we're just trying to figure out these guys. Like I said before, just trying to, I asked them, I said, listen, I need to know who you are. You know, we don't even know who we are yet. I said, but once we put it together, then we'll be able to probably be better at, directing which path we want to go in regards to the approach to the game. But I think we're looking pretty good because we know what we're looking for, and we're looking at, I should say, and I think we got a good shot.
Well, Coach, greatly appreciate the time. Best of luck the rest of the regular season. We'll see you in the postseason.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Coach Corey Allison, Eli Atkins, Carson Wireman, and Cohen Underwood from Greenup County Basketball joining us here in the studio this morning. Let's take a break. When we return, we'll check in with Jim Forrest. He's down in Richmond for the All-A State Tournament. We'll get a full report from there. NFL football conference championships coming up this weekend as well. We'll preview those. And, of course, the Border Sporting Goods Rant of the Week. That's as we continue here on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hits Sports Network.
In addition to the Greenup location, Stultz Pharmacy's newest location is at 437 James Hanna Drive in South Shore, but has retained the name you know and love, McDonald Pharmacy, with the same great service you'll find in the Greenup location, with free delivery service and their convenient drive-thru. Get your vaccinations and allergy shots, and of course, great prescription service at Stultz Pharmacy in Greenup and McDonald Pharmacy, James Hanna Drive, South Shore.
Stultz Pharmacy.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Cool TV presents a sneak peek at the high school basketball postseason with a spiced-up Sports Zone District Tournament preview. Tune in to Cool TV at 4 p.m. January 30th and February 1st and 3rd as Ben Spicer takes a look at the upcoming postseason in high school basketball. He'll break down the 16th region by looking at all 4 districts, the 61st, 62nd, 63rd, and 64th for both boys and girls. The Spiced Up Sports Zone District Tournament preview shows on Cool TV January 30th, February 1st, and February 3rd at 4 p.m. each day are brought to you by Clark's Pumpkin Shops of the Tri-State, A&A Porta Potties, River Cities Builders, Kentucky Farmers Bank, JD Floor Covering, Your Country Chevrolet, Papa John's of Flatwoods and Grayson, Border Sporting Goods, and Primary Plus Healthcare.
I'm April Perry, the CEO of Kentucky Farmers Bank. On average, our employees have been with Kentucky Farmers Bank for over 10 years, and that is important to you and us. We want you to know who you are dealing with. Whether you are financing a new home, buying a car, or remodeling your kitchen, Kentucky Farmers Bank is the better bank for all your needs.
Kentucky Farmers Bank, the better bank for all your financial needs since 1931. Located in Ashland, Summit, and Catlettsburg. KentuckyFarmersBank.com. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. The new year is here, and Clark's Pumpkin Shops get it started off with great in-store specials for you. Assorted Hershey king-size candy bars, 2 for $5. Jack Link's beef and cheese meat snacks, 2 for $3. Blue Diamond almonds, 1.5 ounce size, 2 for $2. Snapple and Snapple Elements, 16-ounce bottles, 2 for $2. Plus quality Argo gasoline. Stop by a Clark's Pumpkin Shop near you. Clark's Pumpkin Shops return. Refresh, refuel.
The Tri-State's Cool Hits 105.7.
Back on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hits Sports Network. Let's go to the phone lines down at the All-A Classic in Richmond. Jim Forrest is in. Jim, good morning. And I know that this is not the first time today that you've had to say good morning. What a thrilling finish you guys had last night.
Yeah, I tell you, James, it was probably the ugliest first half of basketball in my 40-some years that I have ever seen. And you're thinking, man, this game is really ugly. And then by the fourth quarter, it became the most exciting game I think I've been a part of, and then goes to 4 overtimes with all kinds of twists and turns. And finally, Owensboro Catholic holds on and wins it by 1 over UHA.
We'll talk about that game in just a little bit. Let's take a look at the brackets today. First off, you've gotten yourself through the gauntlet of the 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 24 total games that you guys have been a part of. What's the atmosphere been like for the tournament itself? I know this is probably the first full year that we've really gotten away from anything that we even consider the word COVID. We had a little bit of a weather scare earlier in the week, but what's the atmosphere and the crowd been like?
Well, the first day for the girls, the crowds were really good. The All-A, very, very happy, big crowds, probably the biggest we've had in definitely since pre-COVID, but maybe, for some time. And then Thursday was even better for the boys. I mean, just really, really good crowds. And when Washington County and Owen County played, this place was packed. The atmosphere has been fantastic. Ran into the little bit of weather Friday morning for the girls quarterfinals because they shut down Interstate 75 up in northern Kentucky, and they shut down 64 between Lexington and Frankfort because of icy conditions, which meant a lot of fans couldn't get here. Teams were already here, but the fans couldn't get here. So attendance was pretty low yesterday morning, but as the weather got better, fans started coming in, and last night we had big crowds again. And I have to say, even though University Heights and Owensboro Catholic both don't bring a whole lot of fans, they did bring, quite a few, and they all stayed last night. Nobody got up and left, which was unbelievable because that first half was so ugly. So, yeah, the All-A is tickled to death. It's the biggest crowds they've had in a long time. Atmosphere's been great, and I expect today to be the same.
Well, let's talk about today's games. You start things off very early this morning. 8:30 is the tip-off for the first game. That's Covington Holy Cross and Pikeville. And you look at what these two teams have done in their first two games, and they have really kind of shown they're the class of the field. Pikeville setting a record for the largest winning margin by a team, and Covington Holy Cross has won both games by 30-plus.
Yeah, Covington Holy Cross has got, a good team because they've got great balance. They've got Julia Hunt, who is 6'1", averages 13.3 points, 9.7 rebounds, can run the floor well, can block shots. Just a junior, an incredible basketball player, but she's not going to play basketball in college. She's going to play volleyball because she's as good a basketball player. She's a better volleyball player, and she's already signed with Washington to play volleyball. But they've got her, and then they've got the Arlinghouse kid that sort of runs the point for them. And they've got Whimsy, who's that, 5'8", 5'9", big-bodied person who can get up and down the floor and rebound. So, they're a solid team. And then Pikeville, of course, they're more guard-oriented, but, man, can they shoot the ball? Can they get after you on defense? And they've been playing together for a while, and they just know what each other's doing. And it's fun to watch them. They like to get up and down the floor.
I've had a chance to see Pikeville once this season, and their best player, Trinity Rowe, was not available that evening. And still, they looked very solid. They're very deep off the bench, and Christy Orem, she knows how to get the best bang for her buck no matter what she's got. Is this, when we look at this matchup between Holy Cross and Pikeville, is this playing for the girls' championship?
It very well could be. I think so. I was interviewing Judy Mason of Danville yesterday before the Danville-Pikeville game, and she made a comment. She said, I think that the top three teams in this tournament are in the upper bracket, meaning herself, Covington Holy Cross, and Pikeville. And then Pikeville just blitzed Danville, which surprised everybody. Nobody expected that. They expected, not saying Pikeville wouldn't win, but they didn't expect that score. But I think she's right. I think when you get down to the bottom bracket, Whitfield Academy, they beat Menifee County by 13. They only beat Hancock County by 1, and now they got to take on a pretty good Bethlehem team. And this Bethlehem team's pretty good, but it's not the Bethlehems that won the back-to-back championships. It's not as good as those teams. So, yeah, I would think that who comes out of this bracket probably is going to be the favorite in the championship tomorrow. But, hey, who knows, because nobody picked Owen County last year to win it, and they did.
Well, you talk about the bottom bracket, and you've got, as you said, Whitfield Academy and Bethlehem. Don't call me Bethlehem. How many times throughout the week do you hear that, Bethlehem, and they get corrected very quickly?
Oh, I mean, we talk about it before we even do the game. Hey, be careful what you say. But yeah, they want to be called, Bethlehem, not Bethlehem, even though it's spelled Bethlehem. That's one of those strange things. But and they're pretty good. They like to get up and down the floor. That'll be a game of contrasting styles, I think. But it'll be a good game. I just think whoever wins this first game this morning is probably going to be the favorite tomorrow.
When you look at the game in the lower bracket today between Whitfield Academy and Bethlehem, you've got Bethlehem that's averaging 65-plus. On the other side, Whitfield Academy keeping it under 50. How do the two contrasting styles there you've got one team that wants to run and gun and the other team that really wants to slow it down and grind it out?
Yeah, I mean, I think if Pikeville comes out and does what they did to Danville and does what they did in their first game, I think when if they come out and establish themselves really early and just get ahead by 6-8 points, it's hard to stop them. It really is. And then Whitfield Academy is going to have to play Pikeville style, and I don't know if they can and stay with them.
Well, over to the boys bracket. We'll start today at noon. In the upper half of the bracket, you've got Evangel Christian and Owen County. Evangel Christian hanging some big numbers. They've pretty much cruised through their first-round matchups. Owen County, a little bit of a barn burner to get through in the first round over Louisville Collegiate, but 10-point win over Washington County last evening. What do you like between these two teams?
Well, Evangel Christian, I think, is probably the favorite to win it. Now, they're going to get a tough battle between Owensboro Catholic or Covington Holy Cross in the championship game if they get by Owen County. But Evangel Christian, their two guards are absolutely incredible. Christian Dorr and Kyran Tilley might be, James, the best guard combination that I have seen in the All-A or the state tournament or in high school basketball in a long, long time. They are both about 6'1", 6'2". They can get off on a fast break and ram it home, stuff it home on a fast break. They play tenacious defense. They have quick hands. And then you've got 6'11", a player, Malonga in there. Then you come off the bench with 6'8", DeGemma, and you still have Makata, who's about 6'8" or 6'9". But the key to Evangel Christian is their guard play. If their guards play like they've been playing in this tournament, they're going to be awfully tough to beat. And I don't know if Owen County can withstand the pressure that their guards are going to put on them. Although Owen County, has a pretty good player in their own right in Tegan Moore, who averages 33 points a ball game, and he is definitely a player.
Bottom half of the bracket, Covington Holy Cross on the boys' side of things getting into the semifinals. They'll play against Owensboro Catholic, and as we talked a little bit before we got going here, Owensboro Catholic having to go 4 overtimes and knock out University Heights last night. How much legs are in the tank before these guys have to get after it at 1:30?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's what we talked a little bit about last night during the game. Kids are resilient. We'll see what happens, but they did not play a very good game either. Everybody was talking about how bad University Heights was playing in that first 3 quarters, and they were. But Owensboro Catholic wasn't playing much better. They weren't shooting the ball much better. They just got out to a 16-3 lead, and thank God they did, because if they didn't, when University Heights finally started playing and started hitting shots, they would have beat them, by a long shot. So they've got to be a little bit worried about the fact that they played to whatever University Heights controlled that game in the second half, the tempo and everything. And so I think Owensboro Catholic has to not let that happen against Covington Holy Cross. Covington Holy Cross is a very good basketball team. And, you know, they're going to give Owensboro Catholic everything they want. They have Jacob Meyer, who is as a scorer. They have Javier Ward, little quick point guard. They go in big with a big guy inside. They've got the pieces too, and I think it's going to be a good matchup. But I think if Holy Cross gets Owensboro Catholic playing their style, it'll be Holy Cross advancing to the championship.
I know a lot of people may be asking why in the world are they starting the first semifinal at 8:30. It's because EKU has a game tonight at 7:30, so no four overtime games this afternoon. There's simply not enough time to play that.
No, it's the first time that I know of that we've had to do this, and you know, with Eastern playing tonight, so they're just going with the same format they've been using for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You know, 8:30, 10, 11:30, and 1 o'clock, and get everybody out of here so Eastern can come in and play tonight. And then come back with the championship games at 12 and 2 tomorrow like normal. One thing I might mention, too, is McBrayer Arena is going through renovations. They've already started on the outer perimeter somewhat, but this whole I should say Baptist Health Arena, not McBrayer Arena anymore, but this whole arena is going to be gutted and redone, and Eastern is going to be playing their game somewhere else next year, and the All-A will not be here next year. It's going to be at Corbin next year. They've already determined that at their new arena they have there in Corbin. So that's going to be different. We've never done anything like that. But you've got to do what the circumstances allow you to do. So this morning, we're starting the semifinals at 8:30, and we'll see if that affects anybody.
Championships tomorrow at 12 and 2. The girls first, the boys follow. Who's your perennial favorites, Jim, of the 8 teams that remain, the 4 from each side, to cut down the nets for the All-A champion?
I really think it'll be Evangel Christian and Holy Cross for the boys, and I have a tough pick between Pikeville and Holy Cross. I think Pikeville can get there and do it, but if the big girl has a big game for Covington Holy Cross, it's going to be tough. But I'm going to go with Pikeville and Bethlehem in the girls' championship, and then I think it should be Evangel Christians. I think it'll be a good game if it's them and Holy Cross, and then I think Pikeville, if they get by this semifinal game, they could win a state championship.
Jim, great talking to you this morning. Enjoy the call today down in Richmond, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, James. Thanks very much.
We're back after this on the Cool Hits Sports Network.
In addition to the Greenup location, Stultz Pharmacy's newest location is at 437 James Hanna Drive in South Shore, but has retained the name you know and love, McDonald Pharmacy, with the same great service you'll find in the Greenup location, with free delivery service and their convenient drive-thru. Get your vaccinations and allergy shots, and of course, great prescription service at Stultz Pharmacy in Greenup and McDonald Pharmacy, James Hanna Drive, South Shore.
Stultz Pharmacy.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Hello, I'm Michael Bowling, Senior Vice President of Kentucky Farmers Bank. When you do business with Kentucky Farmers Bank, you're making an investment in your community. Your money stays local, we never sell your loan, and in turn, we invest in local families, churches, schools, and charities. We believe in our community, and that's why we are the better bank for loans.
Kentucky Farmers Bank, the better bank for loans since 1931. Located in Ashland, Summit, and Catlettsburg. KentuckyFarmersBank.com, member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
The new year is here, and Clark's Pumpkin Shops get it started off with great in-store specials for you. Assorted Hershey king-size candy bars, 2 for $5. Jack Link's beef and cheese meat snacks, 2 for $3. Blue Diamond almonds, 1.5 ounce size, 2 for $2. Snapple and Snapple Elements, 16-ounce bottles, 2 for $2. Plus quality Argo gasoline. Stop by a Clark's Pumpkin Shop near you. Clark's Pump and Shops return. Refresh, refuel.
The weather is brought to you by Crazy Lady Cabins and Pizza, 250 4 Mile Road in Rush. Check them out online at crazyladycabins.com. That's crazy with a K. And like them on Facebook.
Cool Hits weather.
Mostly cloudy early today, then partly cloudy later on this afternoon. A high of 56, partly cloudy this evening. It's going to be cloudy skies after midnight with some rain developing, low of 42. Cloudy on Sunday with rain ending in the afternoon and a high of 48.
Cool Hits 105.7.
Back here on Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hits Sports Network. Time for the Border Sporting Goods Rant of the Week. Border Sporting Goods US 60 in Cannonsburgh for all your hunting and fishing needs, as well as Liberty Gun Safes. See the good folks at Border Sporting Goods US 60 in Cannonsburgh. All fishing and everything you need to get ready to get on the water this year on sale. They've still got great sales going on in the Liberty Gun Safes. See Brad and the gang out there. They'll get you all taken care of. Well, last night, my wife and I, we ventured across the river to grab some hibachi before we headed up to Lewis County last night for the Cool TV broadcast side of things. And this is not an uncommon place for us to stop on a Friday evening, because a lot of times we've been going to Vanceburg here recently on Fridays. And usually, you sit down at hibachi, you're in for about an hour, and that's not a problem. We had it all allotted out and stuff. So we come in, they sit us down, and we're the only two sitting at our grill. So obviously, usually you have to wait a little bit. They try to fill it up before they bring everything out. So another couple came in, and they sat down, and they were waiting for another person. So we sat, and we waited, and we waited, and we continued to wait. And then the other person finally shows up from that party, and we wait. My wife finally has to go ask them if they would come and take our drink orders. So they finally come and take our drink order. And the lady that came in late, she ordered an appetizer. So we sit there and we wait. And her appetizer comes. We still have no drinks. We've all ordered our food. There is no chefs coming out of the kitchen. There's no food coming out of the kitchen. The people that are the waiters and waitresses, meanwhile, they're running around inside the restaurant like the Marx Brothers. Okay, they're just bouncing off the walls like a concrete wall with a ping pong ball inside of it. Nothing's happening. There's no soups, no salads, nothing coming out of the restaurant. So I'm sitting here and I'll tell my wife, I said, we're just going to have to leave. I said, we're not going to have enough time to eat and be able to get up there to do the game. So we go up to pay for our food. And there's another couple in front of us. They're having the same issue we had. They never got their food. So I tell the guys, look, I need to pay for my drink so we can go on. And he goes, well, I never rang your drink in. You're fine. Just go on. Well, if you never rang in my drink, you probably never put my food in, which is why there was never any food coming out of the stinking kitchen. And it was so weird because you could watch these people, and especially our waiter. This dude was lost. It was you could see the glaze across his eyes. He was just kind of spinning around like there was so many things going on, and he had no idea how to handle any of it. And it's worse than you, Dwayne. And it's what I'm talking about. It's if you stick multitasking into many people today in society, it doesn't work. They cannot multitask. And there was issues going on with their credit card machine. There was no food coming out of the kitchen. They had all these people. They had a big group come, and this guy was just clueless. And it's something I don't understand is like, if you work in food service, you work in any form of customer service, you got to multitask. You cannot just be so fixated on one simple thing that you can't get away from it. So, unfortunately, we got no dinner last night. I had a payday for dinner last night instead of some great hibachi steak and chicken. But either way, this guy, he really needs to just sit down and learn how to multitask. He could not walk and chew gum at the same time. That's how bad this dude was, okay? But for the love of God, just please, just try to multitask just a little bit. You'll be surprised how quickly things move forward. That'll do it for us this morning. Big thanks to Coach Pete Fraley, Jasmine Jordan, and Emily Neese from Boyd County Girls Basketball, Coach Corey Allison, Carson Wireman, Cohen Underwood, and Eli Atkins from Greenup County Boys Basketball, and, of course, all the great folks here at the Cool Hits Sports Network. Up next, Coach E and Dickey's got you covered with 16th Region boys and girls basketball coverage. That'll do it for us this